Cue Blink 182's All the Small Things for the first time since 2001. The Colorado Avalanche, my Colorado Avalanche, your Colorado Avalanche are headed to the Stanley Cup Finals. It has been an insane journey. 2018 making the playoffs, losing in the first round to Nashville. The following year, upsetting the Flames in the first round, then getting eliminated in the second round by the Sharks. The year after that, you go into the bubble, kind of an off year, losing the second round to the Stars. Last year, of course, going into the second round and losing to Vegas. But this year, the Avs swept the Predators, beat the Blues, and have swept the Oilers in the Western Conference Finals to advance to the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, a few things I want to say is a great series and great game to the Edmonton Oilers. It might have been a sweep, but by no means was it a blowout. I feel like the Oilers could have very easily won a couple of these games, and I've seen a lot of hating on Mike Smith, and sure, he's given up some soft goals, but he wasn't a horrible goaltender this playoffs. He made some great saves against Calgary in the second round. Same thing against the Kings. I just think we have a super deep and explosive offensive team. And then also I want to say a huge just props to Leon Draisaitl of the Oilers, who I think is obviously one of the best players in the league, one of my favorite players to watch for playing injured, and same thing with Darnell Nurse of the Oilers. Huge props to them for sticking it out, gutting it out, and playing through those injuries, because I have a lot of respect for them for doing that. Now, before we get into the recap of this series, I want to remind you that Jesus is King. I pray that you give your life to Him. He's got a plan and a purpose for you, and I just truly hope that you accept Jesus with your whole heart and believe that He died on the cross for your sins. And if you truly believe that and you've truly accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior, then you'll go to heaven. It's that simple. It's that easy. Believe in Jesus died on the cross for your sins. I hope to see you in heaven, and let's jump into this recap. Now, first things first, we're going to go game by game. In game one, I don't know where to put the camera right here. I guess we'll put it right here. The Avalanche, we won 8-6. By the way, the background's changed probably because I am back home. I got a weird background in my room, but hey, it is what it is. But we win 8-6 in game one, a very, very explosive game. I was at this game, super fun to watch. Evander Kane opened up the scoring by Kyler Yamamoto and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and I was like, oh boy, not a great start. But then almost instantly, JT Compher comes in, and there's a breakaway, great pass by Newhook to get it to Compher, and he ties the game at 1. Obviously, Compher gets the goal from Newhook and Burakovsky. Then McKinnon scores from Cale Makar and Devon Taves. It was a nice breakaway goal. He was coming in, he was fending off the puck, and then he gets a quick shot off through the 5-hole of Mike Smith, and we have a 2-1 lead. Shortly after, towards the end of the period, Zach Hyman scores a goal from Connor McDavid and Brett Kulak, and almost as soon as that goal happens, Cale Makar scores an unassisted goal. Now, there is some controversy around the rule. I'm not going to get into that controversy because obviously all that matters, it's on the scoreboard and it counted for my Avs. Of course, the Edmonton Oilers challenge it. That sends our Avalanche to the power play, and Nazem Kadri scores. He shoots, he gets his own rebound, and puts it in the back of the net for a power play goal to give the Avs a 4-2 lead. And that goal was obviously from Nazem Kadri, assisted by Gabriel Landeskog and Mikko Rantanen. A little bit later, Nathan McKinnon makes a great pass to Mikko Rantanen. He gets his first goal. That's not an empty netter, and the Avalanche extend their lead. It was obviously Mikko Rantanen from Nathan McKinnon and Arturi Lehkonen. And then after that, I can't remember how many goals we scored before they scored again, so I'm just going to finish going off of our goals. Then after that, JT Compher scored, assisted by Cale Makar, Devon Taves. A little bit later, another 2-on-1 occurs. Andrew Cogliano then scores from Logan O'Connor on another 2-on-1 chance. And then Gabriel Landeskog seals the deal with an empty net goal. For the Oilers, I already talked about Evander Kane's goal, Zach Hyman's goal. Ryan McLeod goes, and he scores a goal from William Fogel and Darnell Nurse. Connor McDavid then gets a nice goal assisted by Leon Draisaitl and Evander Kane. Derek Ryan then gets a goal assisted by Evan Bouchard and Zach Kassian. And then finally, for their final goal of Game 1, it was Ryan Nugent-Hopkins assisted by Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. The 3 stars for that game were Cale Makar was the first star, JT Compher was the second star, and they are given the third star to McDavid, which, he deserved. He had a great game, potting a goal and a couple assists. Moving on to game number 2, where we won in a shutout, 4-0. Obviously, Francouz was the starter, with Kemper pulling himself out of game 1 and recovering from his injury. Frankie gets the shutout. So obviously the Oilers got no goals. In the second period, Arturi Lehkonen would open the scoring from Nazem Kadri and Mikko Rantanen. It was a great tip by Lehkonen to open the score for the Avs, giving them the 1-0 lead. Very shortly after, Josh Manson would blast one past Mike Smith to give the Avs a 2-0 lead, assisted by Kadri and Arturi Lehkonen. A little bit while later, Mikko Rantanen scores another goal that's not a shorthanded goal. Once again, another primary assist by Nazem Kadri, and of course, Landeskog with a secondary assist. And then finally, in the third period, Nathan MacKinnon blasted home a power play goal from Cale Makar. Mike Smith lost his glove. He got it back on, but not all the way. MacKinnon shot it, and we take the 4-0 win over the Oilers. And the 3 stars of that game were obviously Pavel Francouz had to get the first star in the shutout victory. He had to have gotten it. Nazem Kadri then gets the second star for his 3 primary assists on the first 3 goals. And of course, Arturi Lehkonen, who got the first goal off an amazing tip, and he also got another assist in the game. Moving on to Game 3, which was in Edmonton. This was a very close game, and I thought the Oilers could have very easily won this game. We won 4-2, and of course, Connor McDavid opens the scoring on the first shot of the game, and man, that was tough. That was very tough. Of course, it was assisted by Darnell Nurse. Darnell Nurse and Zach Hyman. And then, as the period's winding down, Valeri Nichushkin gets a lucky bounce. Technically, he got the goal because he was the last one to touch it, but it goes off of a stick of, I believe it was Darnell Nurse, into the back of the net, past Mike Smith, tying the game. A little bit later in the second period, Nichushkin would get an actual goal. He caught Mike Smith going the wrong direction, and gives the Avalanche a 2-1 lead. A little bit later, I believe it was Ryan McLeod skates in, and he ties the score from Brett Kulak and Derek Ryan. And then a little bit later, the Avs take a penalty. The penalties expire. JT Compher comes out of the box. Cogliano gives him a nice pass downfield. He fights for the puck, gets a loose puck. A quick shot squeaks through Mike Smith, giving the Avalanche a 3-2 victory. And then towards the end of the game, a great play by Mikko. He dives out, loses his stick to clear the puck, gets the puck out. Oilers retain possession, and then it is stolen by the Avalanche, and Mikko's wide open, and he gets an empty net goal to ice the game for the Avalanche and give them a 3-0 lead in the series heading into Game 4, which was obviously tonight. The 3 stars of Game 3 were Valeri Nichushkin with his 2 goals. Could have very easily had a hat trick, potentially even 4 games, but Mike Smith made some amazing saves, and he keeps him off of the hat trick. Speaking of Mike Smith, he was the second star of the game because he made some great saves, and he was the only reason that this game really the score didn't get driven up. And then we're going to give the third, or I didn't give this is based off of who actually got the stars, but the third star of this game was Devon Taves, and he had a fantastic game helping, offensive. Well, actually, he really didn't help offensive. Well, yes, he did. He got the 2 primary assists. I forgot to read the assist. Taves and Byram on the first goal. Taves and McKinnon on the second goal. Cogliano on the Compher goal. He assisted twice. Got the 2 primary assists, I should say. But he also was very effective in slowing down that top line of Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and really didn't get a chance to. I've completely forgot to talk about this, but of course Evander Kane wasn't suspended, but he got a 5-minute major for boarding Nazem Kadri, who did not return and is currently injured. So he did yeah, okay, I'm going to transition here. I couldn't think of what to say, but Taves did an amazing job getting the 2 primary assists and also shutting down Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Evander Kane for that first game, as well as many other rush attempts. And then that leads us to Game 4 tonight, where we win 6-5. And man, I didn't think we were going to win this. I didn't think we were going to win this at the end of the second period. So Cale Makar opens the scoring on a power play goal from Arturi Lehkonen. Great. That is the only goal of the first period, so we got a 1-0 lead heading into the second. However, that lead would not stay safe as Zach Hyman from Leon Draisaitl and Darnell Nurse gets the tie, or ties the game with the first. A little bit later, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins gets an unassisted goal, making the lead 2-1 for the Oilers. Following that, Connor McDavid would then extend the lead to 3-1 with the assist from Leon Draisaitl and Tyson Barrie. And after that, that was going to end the second period with the Avs down 1-3. However, almost at the start of the period, it is Devon Taves from Gabriel Landeskog and Cale Makar. A lot of people, they said it was McKinnon during the game, that he got a nice deflection and hit the puck in. However, afterwards, it is given to Devon Taves from Gabriel Landeskog and Cale Makar. Afterwards, Mike Smith turns the puck over. There's a loose puck in the net, and Gabriel Landeskog puts it in the back of the net. And there's a lot of controversial from Edmonton fans. I could see how they kind of want a goaltender interference, but at the same time, there was a loose puck and we were playing the puck. So I understand both aspects, and obviously I'll be happy with it because that brought the game. Or actually, I think that goal happened a little bit after another goal by Edmonton, because I believe Zach Hyman scored from Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. Then Landeskog got that turnover. Then afterwards, Nathan McKinnon scores from Arturi Lehkonen and Cale Makar. And I believe that did tie the game. Then afterwards, Mikko Rantanen would score from Gabriel Landeskog and Cale Makar to give us the 5-4 lead with a very little amount of time remaining in the game. However, Zach Kassian is going to score from Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. By the way, Evander Kane, I forgot to mention this, was suspended for this game. Obviously, everyone knows, for the cross-check. So I didn't feel like I had to mention it because I feel like everyone knows. But, for future reference, if someone's coming back to this video, Evander Kane was suspended for this game. But Zach Kassian scores, and he ties the game. And then heading into overtime, Arturi Lehkonen, for the second straight year, gets the game winner in overtime to send his team to the Stanley Cup Finals. Last year did it with the Montreal Canadiens. Of course, this year with us, the Avalanche, assisted from Makar and Helm. The goal was reviewed for a high stick, but to me that wasn't a high stick, or at least not enough evidence to overturn it. He kept that just at the crossbar of the goal, deflects it down, gets his own rebound, shoots, scores, and sends the Avalanche to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time since 2001, where we are currently awaiting our opponent of the Eastern Conference Finals. Will it be the Tampa Bay Lightning for the third straight year, or will it be the New York Rangers? Only time will tell. Let's go over the 3 stars of this game. They're giving the first star to Leon Draisaitl, and I gotta say, as much as I would like the Avs to be on here, obviously, because we won, Leon Draisaitl had an amazing game offensively. Not to mention that he was playing through that injury, which, absolute warrior. So I can't really complain with Draisaitl being the first star. Makar being the second star, of course, he was compared to Bobby Orr on television today, which, Makar is just insanely talented. We got so lucky losing the draft lottery in 2017 to draft Cale Makar. Of course, Jack Hughes is good and all, but not Jack Hughes. It was Nico Hischier, Nolan Patrick, and Miro Heiskanen drafted above him, and we'll absolutely take Makar. We will absolutely take Makar. I'm actually wearing the jersey right now. I also got it before he was the alternate captain. And then the third star, Connor McDavid, who put his team on his back and did everything possible. So, it was a great game. I almost had a heart attack through it. Got the lead, lost it, went down by 2, come back. They extend the lead by 2 again, come back, take the lead, they tie it, and then, of course, Arturi Lehkonen finishes. A whole just spectrum of emotions. What an amazing game. I'm excited to see the Stanley Cup Finals. The last time the Avs won the Stanley Cup Finals, I think I was like a few weeks old, if I'm honest. It's a few weeks old. So I hope to see it where I can remember the games and actually be there in person to witness it. So, man, I'm absolutely pumped. I am super excited. Man, what a journey. It's been so sweet after the previous eliminations of the previous years. I'm super excited, and yeah, thank you all for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and thanks so much. Thank you. Jeez, I can't speak. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.